Good morning, everyone. It's Mary, and it's time for part 2 of being successful at achieving goals. We started a series last week, part 1. Feel free to go back and watch that, in which at the end of that, we set a challenge for ourselves. I asked you to take the entire week and think about your goals in 4 areas. That is in health, relationships, your vacation or career, or time and money. And you were to spend the whole week just really being able to improve upon the goal and being very specific. So by now, you should have a very specific goal that you've laid out for yourself. And if you don't, that's fine. Just make sure you go back this week and define that goal for yourself. And we know that if we want to be successful, only 8% of people are successful at their goals and their resolutions. And there's a lot of reasons for that I talk about in the first session. But if we want to increase from 8% to 42%, then we will write them down. There's something that happens from our brain to our hand that we're tactile when we write it down. There's research on that. So writing it down and looking at it, reviewing it, and having it visible in front of you every single day will actually increase you from 8% to 42%. Now we're going to increase it even more. So the 2 things I want you to focus on this time, now that you have your very specific goal, it's written down, you thought about it, you should be able to, step 1, visualize the goal, the end result. When you're successful, what would it look like? How would I know 3 months from now, 6 months from now, a year from now that you've actually achieved your goal? What have you done differently? What does it look like? What are you doing? You should be able to define that. And this is going to help you in 2 different ways. One, if you've proclaimed the goal out loud to someone, or someone notices a change in you. So for example, when I started to lose weight, many people approached me and said, "Oh wow, you've lost weight. How much have you lost so far?" And I gave them a number, so I may say 15 pounds. And they notice a difference, but they don't know what 15 pounds looks like for me. And it's awkward to talk about a specific number. The second part of the question is, that's great. How much more do you want to lose? And if I say another 15 pounds, again, that's hard to visualize to what that 15 pounds looks like. Instead, what I answer is, I want to be able to get back to the weight and the fitness level I was when I was running marathons. That evokes an image, not only for myself, but anyone who's asking. So if you can tie it to a visualization, then once you achieve it, regardless of the number, the weight itself, once you achieve getting into, you can see that. That's the visualization part. If you can do that, once you write it down and have those specifics, you will actually start to get to a point where you're 55% likely to achieve your goal. Okay, so we're more than 0.5% at this point. After you visualize the success of achieving your goal, the second thing I want you to do this week is I want you to actually believe it. Yes, I want you to believe it. You're like, well, of course I believe it. It's my goal. You'd be surprised how many people don't have the correct mindset when it comes to the goals. Here we are, the second full week of January, and I've already heard people say, "Oh, well, I didn't make it to the gym this week. My goal's blown." All right, we're going to talk about that next week when we have these negative impacts to us, when things happen to us. The year's not over. You just pick up where you left off. You keep going. It's not backwards. You start from where you're at. You didn't lose the progress, you just didn't do something this week. So didn't do something the next week. So you have to have a belief and a confidence in yourself that you can achieve this goal. Your mindset, everything you do, all your actions are to help get you to the next level. And that's important. And that's why it's important to be very specific, so that you, one, can visualize success and be able to explain it when people have questions about you, about what you're doing. But 2, that you believe it yourself, that you believe more than anyone else that you can achieve this goal. Whether it's starting a business, whether it's being healthier, whether it's having better relationships, whatever your goal is, it starts first internally that you believe you can do it. So here's your challenge for this week. If you don't have your goal written down, write it down. Look at it every day. And I would love for you to be able to write down, visually write down what it looks like. How will I know if you and I were sitting across the table from each other having a cup of coffee and you told me what your goal was and 6 months from now, I ask you, how is it going? What would I see? What is the visual cues that would tell me you've achieved your goal, whether I asked you or not? Write that down. That's part of your goals, okay? That's your challenge. Be very, and continue to look at this every single day. If you want to be successful, we're at 55% successful at this point. If you want to be successful, you need to believe in yourself. You're going to visualize success of your written goal that you can achieve in 2019. So there you go. That is this episode, part 2 of being successful at achieving goals. Remember, as always, this message might not be for you. It might be for someone else. So do me a favor. Share it. Like the video, share the video, provide me some comments, some feedback. I've gotten some great messages so far from people. You guys have some awesome goals set. I'm expecting really great things from you guys from 2019. Continue communicating. Get yourself into community, talk about this, and have a great week.